You are listening to the global network of podcasters dedicated to the pharmacy profession. Welcome to the Pharmacy Podcast Network.
You're listening to the NASP Specialty Pharmacy Podcast, a collaboration between the National Association of Specialty Pharmacy and the Pharmacy Podcast Network. Each episode dives deep into trends, challenges, innovations, and patient-centric practices shaping the future of this dynamic and rapidly evolving industry. Whether you're a pharmacist or healthcare provider, patient advocate, or industry leader, you'll hear expert insights, real-world evidence, and thought-provoking discussion that highlights all that makes specialty pharmacy special.
In support of NASP's mission to empower specialty pharmacy stakeholders to advance the standard of patient care, NASP supports a free market healthcare system in which all specialty pharmacies compete on the same fair and level playing field, because that is in the best interest of the patients we collectively serve. NASP is committed to working with all stakeholders and policymakers to ensure that all patients have access to the life-saving medications they need and the high-touch patient care and support services they deserve from the pharmacy of their choosing.
Hello, my name is Sheila Arquette, and I am the President and CEO of the National Association of Specialty Pharmacy. I am delighted to welcome my special guest, Dr. Caroline Girardeau, to this episode of the NASP Podcast. Dr. Girardeau, PharmD, MBA, PMP, BCPS, and ACHC Pharmacy Program Director, has over 30 years of pharmacy practice and strategic leadership experience. Dr. G's diverse expertise and clinical knowledge will further ACH's mission to deliver exceptional service in pharmacy accreditation. Dr. G graduated from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill School of Pharmacy and earned her Master of Business Administration from UNC Kenan-Flagler School of Business. She completed her pharmacy practice residency at UNC Healthcare in Chapel Hill and her critical care specialty residency at Virginia Commonwealth University Medical College of Virginia in Richmond. In addition to holding a doctorate in pharmacy, Dr. G has certifications from the Board of Pharmaceutical Specialties as a pharmacotherapy specialist and from the Project Management Institute as a project management professional. During her long career, Dr. G has held leadership roles at premier healthcare institutions, including pharmacy management and clinical coordination positions at UNC Rex Healthcare, specialty roles at UNC Chapel Hill Medical Center and WakeMed Health and Hospitals, and clinical research positions with leading clinical research organizations. She resides in North Carolina with her husband, David, and their 2 children. In her free time, she enjoys being outdoors, exercising, and tending to her garden. Caroline, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Sheila. I'm delighted to be here.
How's the garden doing? Is it a good growing season or a bad growing season?
It is not much gardening this season, honestly. I'm really focused on all things ACHC as I adapt to my new role here. So
Sure.
I've got some flowers in pots and a lovely hummingbird feeder that I'm enjoying very much this summer.
Well, there you go. That's all you need. I live in Florida, so like the growing season, I think, is over in February, right? It just gets too darn hot. So I give
Absolutely.
up.
Understood.
There's an awful lot of critters in the garden, right, that I really don't want to come face to face with. So I'm good. All right, so let's get started here. Specialty pharmacy accreditation can apply across different business models. How does ACHC help organizations understand which accreditation pathway would best fit their scope of services?
Great question, Sheila. Every specialty pharmacy operates a little differently, so we start by understanding the services that each one provides, the patients they serve, and any manufacturer or payer requirements. And from there, we help to identify the accreditation pathway that aligns with that particular pharmacy's operations, whether it be hospital-based or independently owned. And the goal is to make the process straightforward and ensure organizations pursue accreditation that is the best fit for their business. ACHC offers 2 different types of specialty pharmacy accreditation. Our SRX service includes the CMS DMEPOS PTAN accreditation requirements. And for those of you who don't know what DMEPOS stands for, that stands for Durable Medical Equipment, Prosthetic, Orthotic, and Supplies. And so businesses who want to bill Medicare for product codes will want to seek the SRX accreditation service. We also offer a specialty pharmacy accreditation service without DMEPOS quality and supplier standards, and we call this the SRX only accreditation. And so businesses who only need the SRX only without DMEPOS can elect to have this particular survey experience performed virtually. And so this is a very popular option for our customers, and they have the option to do it in person or virtually. And it's, again, something that a lot of customers prefer to do virtually. I'd also like to put in a good word for our customer service and account advisor teams at ACHC. They are valuable resources that ensure the right accreditation is chosen based on your pharmacy's business model. And new customers can seek guidance from our ACHC customer service representative, and existing customers can also reach out to their account advisor.
Awesome. And just like a point of clarification, so the DMEPOS benefits, are those typically covered and billed as medical benefits?
They are, it's under product codes, and it's falls under Medicare Part B. As in boy.
Yep. Okay. Yes. All right. That is from my health plan days. Those are typically medical benefits. Okay. And not all pharmacies, right, carry those or have the capabilities to bill that benefit. So that's nice that you offer both.
We do.
So how are emerging industry trends impacting pharmacy practice and the types of accreditation available?
Yeah, so pharmacy practice is undergoing significant transformation driven by advanced therapies that are fundamentally changing pharmacist roles. We know that biologics, cell and gene therapies, and treatments for rare disease and orphan diseases are expensive, clinically complex, and require ongoing management. As a result, pharmacists and pharmacies are increasingly seeking additional training, credentials, and third-party validation with a focus on longitudinal patient monitoring, adherence, and outcomes. In response to the rise in rare disease treatments, ACHC offers a distinction in rare and orphan disease, and we currently have 35 organizations accredited with this distinction. Our standards focus on ensuring that these patients receive structured, longitudinal management throughout their treatment journey. And this niche of specialty practice faces complex payer issues, extensive enrollment and assistance programs, and requires significant due diligence and reporting to manufacturers. The trend in complex therapies for complex disease states has also led ACHC to recently launch our newest distinction in immunoglobulin therapy. ACHC collaborated with IGNS, the Immunoglobulin National Society, and industry partners to develop the first of its kind distinction in immunoglobulin therapy. IGNS is the premier organization for education, research, and advanced clinician certifications in IG therapy. Their organization has what we call IGNS standards of practice, and they were incorporated into the distinctions framework to demonstrate excellence. And so these certifications help a team demonstrate advanced competence and practice at a higher level for IG therapy. So by offering these two distinctions, ACHC aligns accreditation with emerging specialty pharmacy trends and supports advanced clinical practice and gives providers a structured way to demonstrate excellence in managing complex patients and their therapies.
So how are recent CMS changes to DMEPOS requirements impacting the accreditation survey process?
Thank you for your question. The CMS final rule, effective January 1st, 2026, significantly increases oversight for pharmacies billing DMEPOS, primarily to address fraud, waste, and abuse, where improper overpayments have been roughly 20% in recent years. From an accreditation perspective, the biggest impact is increased frequency and tighter timelines. Pharmacies who bill DMEPOS now require annual accreditation surveys with a 1-year cycle, while pharmacy accreditation remains on a 3-year cycle. Surveys are more focused, including Medicare patient record review, equipment evaluation, and compliance with quality and supplier standards. In addition, corrective action time plans, or what we used to call a clinical plan of correction, those are under a reduced time frame. Previously at ACHC, it was 30 days, and now it's 15 days, and that reflects CMS's expectation for faster reporting. There's also more triggers that require surveys. Changes such as adding a branch, relocation, certain ownership changes, or introducing new DMEPOS product codes may now prompt an additional survey. These all increase the demand for accreditation services. And finally, CMS has increased scrutiny both for DME suppliers as well as accrediting organizations such as ACHC. Expirations can no longer be extended, and accreditation also cannot be granted until all deficiencies found on survey are resolved. Late applications also potentially put a pharmacy's PTAN and their ability to bill Medicare at risk. So the key takeaway is to submit renewal applications early and ensure you have a strong compliance program in place, as expectations and enforcement are significantly higher under this rule.
Specialty pharmacy, as you mentioned, continues to evolve alongside growing expectations from everyone, right? The payers, the manufacturers, the providers, and the patients. What are some of the biggest operational and quality risks specialty pharmacies should be paying attention to right now? And how do they prepare?
I think the biggest risks facing specialty pharmacies right now fall into two closely connected categories. One is proving the quality of care, and secondly, managing increased operational complexity. First, specialty pharmacies need to do more than just dispense medication. They really need to show that the therapy is benefiting the patient. And that requires knowing what outcomes payers and manufacturers expect, collecting the right data, and tracking trends over time. The refill process is also another important quality risk. Pharmacies should not automatically refill a medication without first confirming adherence, tolerance, and continued benefit. A refill assessment should be built into the workflow before dispensing. From an operational perspective, data reporting remains difficult because payers and manufacturers often require different information or formats. Until the industry moves towards greater standardization for data transfer and communication, pharmacies need to really develop clear internal processes for managing and validating those requirements. Which also leads to another challenge, which is vendor oversight is also very critical. Pharmacies should really verify that their vendors are properly licensed, qualified, secure, and are able to meet data transmission requirements. Finally, insurance changes and new prior auths, for example, especially at the beginning of the year, can delay therapy. Pharmacies should identify high-risk patients early and begin benefit verification proactively and communicate with patients and prescribers before a delay results in a missed dose. I work with other team members at ACHC, and we field complaints both from patients and caregivers. And this is a very typical theme where patients are missing doses or have delays in therapy. Some of the delays have been over 30 days or longer than a month, and it's really tragic when this happens. And again, a lot of this could have been reduced or minimized had there been enough proactive involvement and communication with the benefits, providing better continuity of care. So ultimately, the goal is to have workflows that protect continuity of care and then also value the proof of the quality that is being provided.
Accreditation is often viewed as a requirement for access or reimbursement or barrier too, but how can specialty pharmacies use the process as a strategic advantage?
Pharmacies that gain most from accreditation do not treat it as an event that happens once every 3 years. They use it as an ongoing framework for continuous improvement that can strengthen operations, improve consistency across teams, reduce risk, and demonstrate a clear commitment to quality. For example, when a shipping error occurs, the goal should not be simply to correct that one shipment. The pharmacy should take a deeper dive and ask whether training, a policy, a process, technology, or perhaps communication was the breakdown that contributed to the error. The same approach applies to near misses. Rather than viewing them as isolated events, strong organizations will use them as opportunities to improve safety before another patient is affected. When approached strategically, accreditation becomes more than just a credential. It becomes a competitive advantage that builds confidence with patients, referral sources, manufacturers, and payers.
So now let's flip it a little bit. What should specialty pharmacies look for when they are evaluating and selecting an accrediting organization?
I really like this question. When evaluating an accrediting organization, specialty pharmacies should first make sure that the accreditor meets the requirements of the payers and the manufacturers that they are working with. That is the starting point, but it should not be the only consideration. Pharmacies should also look closely at the experience of the surveyors. Ideally, the accreditor has surveyors with broad therapeutic and operational expertise who understand the specialty pharmacy environment and take a collaborative approach to the survey process. Education is another important factor. The right accreditor should be able to provide support that goes beyond explaining the standards. At ACHC, for example, we offer education on real-world issues that our customers are facing. That includes webinars on preparing for pharmacy inspections, hands-on compounding education in our new simulated clean room, and guidance related to recent Medicare and DMEPOS changes. We also bring healthcare professionals together through our ACHC Academy, where participants from pharmacy, hospital, home health, and other sectors can learn from one another. Our next conference is in Nashville in March of 2027. Regulatory support from your accreditor is also valuable. Regulations can be complex and change quickly, so having access to experts who can help interpret those requirements can also make a significant difference. Ultimately, the right accreditation partner should do more than evaluate an organization every few years. It should provide the expertise, education, and resources to help your pharmacy continuously improve and adapt to industry changes.
So there can be a perception in the marketplace that one accreditation pathway carries more prestige than another. What misconceptions do you think exist about accreditation organizations, and how should pharmacies think about credibility, rigor, and value, again, when making that selection decision?
I also very much appreciate this question. One common misconception is that all accreditation experiences are the same, or that one name automatically carries more value. In reality, organizations should focus on whether the accreditor is recognized by the stakeholders who matter to their business, and whether the standards are rigorous, relevant, and designed to improve patient care. The greatest value comes from an accreditation process that strengthens your organization and your team, not just one that results in a certificate on the wall. And I like to bring this out too. To me, the A in accreditation stands for accountability, and that means accountability to standards. The buck stops with you as the pharmacy and pharmacist. Are you holding your business accountable to accreditation standards?
I love that. Patient-centered care is central to specialty pharmacy. So how does ACHC's approach to patient assessment and individualized care planning help pharmacies move beyond a check-the-box kind of model?
Yeah, this is a challenge, I think, in any healthcare setting these days. ACHC standards encourage pharmacies to use the information to create a care plan that is specific to the drug, the disease, and the patient. That last element, the patient, is so especially important because perhaps the pharmacist's goals may not align or be the same as the patient's goals. The pharmacist, for example, may be focused on one clinical marker, while the patient may be most concerned about managing side effects, returning to work, or being able to participate in activities of daily living. And so ultimately, the patient needs to be part of that conversation. The goal is to ensure the pharmacist and the patient are working toward the same outcomes. When pharmacies continually reassess the patient and they update the care plan and evaluate those results, the process moves beyond checking a box and it becomes truly patient or personalized care.
Medically integrated dispensing is becoming more common as practices are looking for more connected ways to manage complex therapies and complex patients. How can accreditation support medically integrated dispensing programs, particularly in areas like oncology and immunoglobulin therapy, traditionally specialty pharmacy areas?
Thank you for this question. So medically integrated dispensaries or dispensing programs are designed to bring medication access closer to the patient's care team, which can be especially valuable in complex areas such as oncology or immunoglobulin therapy. Medically integrated dispensaries, or I like to abbreviate it MIDs, those are usually, again, located in a provider's office or clinic. And because MIDs operate different from a traditional pharmacy, and they may not have a pharmacist direct involvement, for this reason, I almost feel like accreditation and the case for accreditation becomes stronger because those types of practice settings need strong framework for medication management, compliance, and quality oversight. And so I'll just say too, for ACHC, the types of accreditation that we offer in MID is, again, typically the SRX only, the specialty pharmacy accreditation without DMEPOS codes. That's the accreditation that we typically offer to this type of practice setting. Accreditation establishes, again, clear expectations for policies, documentation, patient education, care coordination, follow-up, and continuous quality improvement. A lot of the MIDs that I have been familiar with employ a pharmacy technician, and so oftentimes those pharmacy technicians have always worked with a pharmacist, so the fact that they don't have one readily available to them leaves them with performance gaps and how to, operate independently without a direct pharmacist oversight. And so the accreditation framework helps to really set them up for success. It also helps to make sure that communication between providers, pharmacists, and other members of the care team is consistent and well-defined. From a business perspective, accreditation can also help to support payer and PBM networks, strengthen opportunities to access specialty or limited drug distribution networks, and really signals, again, the A in accreditation for accountability to manufacturers and other partners. So in closing, accreditation really helps medically integrated dispensing programs operate with consistent processes, appropriate oversight, and a clear commitment to safety, quality, and patient-centered care. That creates a more coordinated and seamless experience for patients receiving complex therapies directly from prescribers.
Thank you so much, Caroline, for chatting with me today and for sharing this valuable information.
Thank you, Sheila. It's been a real pleasure. I love being a part of NASP, and really, I think your mission for NASP and ACHC's mission are very well aligned, and I appreciate this opportunity to talk more about our services today.
Yes, thank you, and we appreciate all of your support. As a reminder, NASP corporate members are invited to be my guest on one complimentary podcast per year. For more information about this or other NASP membership benefits and events, please feel free to reach out to membership@naspnet.org or visit our website at www.naspnet.org. Until next time, have a great day.